Okay, the San Francisco 49ers record prediction. So San Francisco lost in the NFC Championship last year. I'm looking at their team. They have a really talented team. Their skill position players are good with Kittle, Debo, run game, Christian McCaffrey. Their defense is overall really good, especially with their defensive line with the three-headed monster of Hargrave, Armstead, and Bosa. Warner and Greenlaw isn't bad, and their secondary is not great, but decent with Ward and Hufanga. I'm most worried about is their quarterback. Brock Purdy had a pretty big elbow injury. He tore his UCL in the um, NFC Championship game, and I think he was going to start out slow. Even if he even start week one starts, Trey Lance is unproven. Sam Darnold has been a bust. So I'm worried about quarterback, and I'm also worried about the offensive line. They only have really Trent Williams and then a bunch of just other guys. So I am worried about their offensive line and quarterback position, which I think will contribute to a slower start. So yeah, first game versus the Steelers. Steelers with Mike Tomlin always will have a good defense. They still have Minkah Fitzpatrick. They still have Cam Hayward, T.J. Watt. Definitely can cause problems for a relatively inexperienced Niners offensive line. And Brock Purdy just coming back from his injury, I think will start out slow. Um, San Francisco 49ers defense will cause hell on Pickett though, especially since Pickett is kind of inexperienced. The whole Steelers team is inexperienced. I think this one's going to be definitely a defensive game, but Pittsburgh have home field advantage, so and San Francisco usually does not start out really well, so I got to take Steelers. Then you have the Niners versus the Rams. Rams are pretty much rebuilding. They traded away in Ramsey. Their defense is Aaron Donald, and that's just it. You cannot name another player in the Rams. The Rams defense, the Rams offense do have a bit of potential, but either way, Rams don't play well against Niners, and I'm confident the Niners defense will get the job done. And Brock Purdy and the whole Niners skill position play will have an easy game versus the Rams defense of San Francisco. Then you have a short week, which is right off the bat not good for the Giants. A short week, they have to travel all the way to the West Coast to play in San Francisco. So that alone, plus San Francisco's just way more talented than the Giants. I gotta take San Fran here. And then you have Denver versus Cardinals. Cardinals are pretty much rebuilding right now. Um, I don't really expect much. Cardinals historically have just done not good, has not done well against their divisional opponents. So I'm going to take the Niners here. Then you have Denver versus the Cowboys rematch of the divisional game. Niners still have big home field advantage, but Cowboys, I think they definitely added with Stephon Gilmore and um, Brandon Cooks. Uh, I think that Dallas defense can cause havoc on that not great Niners offensive line and cause problems for Purdy. They did last year. The Dallas defense caused a lot of problems for the 49ers offense last year, and I cannot say the 49ers offense got better, but I can say the Cowboys offense got better, so I'm going to take the Cowboys here. And you have Denver versus the Browns. Browns are coming off a bye week. Again, the Niners have to go to the East Coast. Browns do have a very talented team. Their defense could use some work, and I think Niners defense will do really well against Nick Chubb. So really wild card factor here is how well Deshaun Watson will do, and I think he will rebound, especially with that bye week. And I don't think the Niners offense can do enough to win the game, so I'm taking the Browns here. Upset. And you have them versus the Vikings. Vikings should be an easy matchup on their defense at least. Vikings defense is just not that good. As long as they have some plan against the Vikings blitz heavy defense with Brian Flores there, I think the Niners offense will do well as long as they don't let the blitz overwhelm them. And the Niners defense obviously one of the best defense. Should be a very interesting matchup against a very good Minnesota Vikings offense, but I'm still thinking the Niners here. Then you have them versus the Bengals. Bengals coming off a bye, which isn't really that good. Bengals, their offense can definitely challenge the 49ers secondary. Secondary is definitely their weaker spot. Weaker, not really a weak spot, but weaker spot of their overall defense. And Bengals don't really run the ball that much. So I think that would be a bad matchup for the 49ers defense. And their offense, I just don't think is enough to carry. So I'm going to take the Bengals here, especially since the Bengals are coming off a bye week. You have the bye, and then you have them versus the Jaguars. First off, Jaguars home. They're both coming off a bye. Jaguars do have home field advantage. Another team that can attack the 49ers through the air. Jaguars defense, not sure if they improved that much. I'm going to take the upset here. I'm going to take the Jaguars again. Then you have the Niners versus the Buccaneers. Buccaneers pretty much another rebuilding team with Baker Mayfield. I don't think Baker Mayfield is going to have a good game. Niners defense should just shut down the Buccaneers skill position players, and Buccaneers defense not that good, so I'm taking the Niners here. At this point, the 49ers, I believe, offense will start taking a stride, but you have a short week versus Seattle again. We have to travel up to Seattle. Seattle is an improving team. Kenneth Walker should not take over. 49ers defense is too good. Geno Smith, I'm not sure if he's gonna rebound or not. Even though it's a short week, I'm taking the Niners here. Then you have them versus the Eagles. Eagles are the Super Bowl defending champs. They did beat the Niners last year, but I think at this point that with Brock Purdy, I do think San Francisco will beat the Eagles, mainly because Brock Purdy is starting to find his stride again. The Niners defense, I think they did well against the Eagles until Purdy got injured last year. So I do think the Niners defense will do well against the Eagles offense. So I'm taking the Niners here. Then you have the Niners versus the Seahawks. Seahawks, like pretty much what I said, they didn't really improve as much as I would have liked. Their defense is still kind of spotty. I think the Niners offense will do good against the Seahawks. And the Seahawks offense, I don't think will do enough against the San Francisco defense. I'm taking the Niners here. And then you have Week 15 versus the Cardinals. Definitely an upset game. Divisional rival. Cardinals coming off a bye. They have home field advantage. So definitely a potential upset, but I don't see the 49ers going to the upset. I'm taking the Niners here. You have another really interesting team versus the Ravens. Lamar Jackson's rushing attack can definitely cause problems, but it's late in the year. Niners usually do well late in the year, especially December. Ravens do not. Ravens do have a good defense. I think this one will definitely cause problems for that 49ers offense, but I'm taking the Niners here. Then you have the Commanders. I just do not trust in Sam Howell to beat the 49ers defense. And the Washington just does not have that good of a team. I'm taking Niners. And then you have final week versus the Rams. Rams they don't do well against the Niners, and they definitely aren't going to do well this year, so I'm taking the Niners. So in the end of the Niners going 12-5, 6-0 against the division, 6-2 at home, and 6-3 away.